Hi, the name of this Blender video tutorial is Smoothing Problems. Occasionally Blender modelers encounter a number of smoothing problems while modeling in Blender. To demonstrate some of these problems and their solutions, I've modeled in my scene a vase-like object that I've modeled mostly by extruding up from a circle. With the vase object selected, I'll press the Smooth button in the left tool panel. This appears to smooth out the surface facets. However, there is a darkish blotch on part of the object. This sometimes happens when smoothing an object, especially an object modeled using the Extrude tool. This type of darkish surface blotch is usually the result of a misalignment of some of the object's face normals. Each polygonal and triangular face in Blender has two sides. One side, called the normal, faces outward, and the other side faces inward. We can see the direction of an object's face normals by selecting the object and tabbing into Edit mode. In the Mesh Display panel, on the right Properties panel under Normals, there is a button that displays the object's face normals as blue lines. I'll increase the length of those normal display lines to 0.5. As you can see, most of the face normals are pointing outwards, but some of them are pointing inwards. And these are the faces, when smooth, that are producing this darkish area. Now, one way to solve this problem is to press Ctrl-Tab and go into Face Selection mode, and select one of the faces that is pointed in the wrong direction. Then click on the Flip Normal button located in the Tool panel on the left. This flips the selected face, and the face normal is now pointing outwards. An easier way to solve this problem is to first select all of the faces, or vertices if you are in Vertex Select mode, and click on the Recalculate button in the left tool panel. This will realign the face normals for the entire object so that they are all pointing outward. Note that when I tab out of Edit mode, the darkish areas are no longer displayed in the smoothed object. Another smoothing problem on this vase object is that when the smoothing is applied, it smooths, or attempts to smooth, all of the vase edges, even those that should remain unsmoothed. For instance, I would like these transition edges in the middle of the vase and at the bottom of the vase to appear sharp rather than slightly rounded. One solution to this problem would be to use the auto-smoothing function that's been described in a previous video tutorial. Another solution is, first I will press Ctrl-Tab and go into Edge Select mode. Then, holding down the Alt key, I'll select one of the edge loops that I want to remain sharp. I will then hold down the Alt key and the Shift key and select the rest of the edge loops that I want to remain sharp, adding them to the selection. With all of the edge loops selected, I'll press Ctrl-E, or the Edge menu, and select Mark Sharp. This will designate the selected edge loops as sharp edges. I'll then tab out of Edit mode, and then go to the Modifier Editor, and add an Edge Split modifier to the vase. This allows the Smooth function to smooth all of the object's edges, but removes from that smoothing all of the edges designated as sharp. I'll switch to Layer 2 on my Blender scene to demonstrate another common smoothing problem. Here I have modeled a curved wall object using primarily the Extrusion tool. I'll select the object and press the Smooth button in the Tools panel. Note the dark streak that runs the length of the object. Something is seriously wrong with the smoothing on this object. I'll first tab into Edit mode and go back to Vertex Select mode. I'll then select all of the vertices. Then I'll click Recalculate Normals button located in the left tool panel. I'll then tab out of Edit mode. This seems to have solved the normal problem, but another problem seems to remain. Sometimes, when using the Extrude tool, modelers might, by mistake, press the E key to extrude, but fail to move the vertices, or they might move them only slightly out of alignment. This is what happened here. I'll tab back into Edit mode. Notice that there seems to be a double line of vertices around the center of the wall object. With all of the vertices selected, I'll press the Remove Doubles button in the left tool panel. Note that the notation at the top of the display says that no vertices have been removed. This is because the default merge distance is 0.0001 blender unit. I'll raise this to 0.02. This has removed the doubled vertices. I'll now tab out of Edit mode, and the wall smoothing is much cleaner. However, I still need to mark some of the edges as sharp. I'll tab back into Edit mode and go to Edge Select. I'll then select all of the edges I want to remain sharp. Once these edges are selected, I'll press Ctrl E and select Mark Sharp. This will designate the selected edge loops as sharp edges. I'll then tab out of Edit mode and go to the Modifier Editor and add an Edge Split modifier to the wall object. This allows the Smooth function to smooth out all of the object edges, but removes from that smoothing all of the edges designated as sharp. I'll go to layer number 3 to demonstrate another smoothing problem, this time concerning the subdivision surface modifier. Here I've modeled a simple spindle-type object, primarily through the extrusion process. I've also added a subdivision surface modifier to the object. I'll select the object and press the Smooth button in the left tool panel. The spindle object is reasonably well smoothed, but the ends of the object look a bit odd because the subdivision surface modifier is attempting to subdivide and smooth out a flat circular surface. To solve this problem, I'll tab into Edit mode, and while in Edge Select, I will click on the Loop Cut and Slide button in the left tool panel and create a new edge loop near the end of the spindle and move it as close to the edge as possible. I'll deselect the edge loop and click the Loop Cut and Slide button again and place another edge loop on the other side of the spindle as close to the end of the object as possible. I'll then tab out of Edit mode. The ends of the spindle are now much better defined.